Look, a lot of people actually run Facebook ads and drive traffic and they get clicks, they even get leads, but then nothing happens on the sales side. The truth is that skeptical leads are ruining your sales process. If you don't know how to build trust, but more specifically to get them to take action, it's gonna kill your Facebook ad performance. And so in this video, I'll show you one simple trick to turn more of your Facebook ad leads into sales. Now, if you're new to the channel, you know who I am. My name is Justin Lalonde, and I'm the founder at paidadvertising.com, where on the one hand, we help businesses implement a scalable ad engine, and on the other, we help grow e-com and info businesses to multi-seven figures with paid ads. That said, I've profitably spent and advised well over $15 million in paid ad spend in the last 12 months, and let's get straight into today's video. So what I have opened up in front of me right now that you might see on my iPad is a couple screenshots of a very standard Facebook lead form, okay? And what I want to bring up and what sparked this video today is a lot of my info local clients, or perhaps the ad agencies with which we work with on their ad engine, have a very similar problem, which is, Justin, we're getting leads, but like nothing happens with those leads. They're either duds, bad quality, they don't end up booking in a call, they don't convert. Like, what do we do here? And I'll show you some of the reasons why this is happening today, and the one in which I think is impacting most businesses out there. And so let's get straight into it. One of the first things, obviously, is just simply how have you built your instant form, okay? So if I zoom in right here, well, instead instant form, it's pretty simple. What I typically like to do is to call out what my offer is right at the top. Then I will have one or two questions right here. I don't want leads to just come in with full name, email, phone number. Typically it's too easy, meaning like there's not enough friction. You'll get a lot of leads, but you'll get a lot of bad leads when doing that. So I want to eliminate as much as possible the objection that's, either my customers and ad agency might tell me, which is, hey, like leads are bad. It's like, I want to make sure that we actually get good leads. And so therefore I'm adding at least two, sometimes three questions to the process. And then pretty simple, in the thank you screen, like once somebody has actually opted in, I always prime the next step. Okay. So I said, hey, thanks. Now book your call with Jerry. Okay. Meet Jerry, our top RV and boat loan advisor, for a quick 15 to 30 minute discovery call to get pre-qualified. Simply click the button below and book in a phone call with him today. And so it's pretty much what we have right here. We have a book a call link, and then once somebody clicks on that, they can actually book in a call directly into our client's calendar. So the first thing I'll tell you is, honestly, if you do this right, like the KPI for what you want to optimize for right here on a Facebook with an instant form, or perhaps on a landing page with your form, is going to be at least 15 to 20% opt-in rate. Okay? This is the general KPI for the percentage of people that should click on your form versus the ones who actually end up opting in into said form. Okay? So generally speaking, it's your KPI. Now, from there, I will say typically about 5 to 10% will self-book. So those are the people who will actually come over here and then click the book a call button and actually book in a time themselves on the website. So 5 to 10% should self-book. If this number is not up to standard, okay, it's typically going to be because of one of two things. Number one, you might not have enough calendar availabilities. So we're going to go cal availabilities. It's one of the top killers in my experience of why people are not booking, okay? So as an example, if you're advertising to the general public, you're advertising to, homeowners, or to perhaps like in a B2C space or whatnot, look, you need to have times like evenings and weekends. It's mandatory. Like if you don't have times during weekends and evenings, then you're probably not going to book calls. And the more slots you have, the more calls you're going to book. So again, that's one of the killer, if you want, of why there's like not enough self-booking. The other one is there's not enough priming of second step. And so here, honestly, this is like the form that I'm showing you is probably the lowest level of priming that you would have. I mean, the lower than that would be you don't even prime for the second step. Like all I do here is on this last and very third screen, I go, hey, thanks, you opted in, now booking your call. So it's pretty simple. But you might want to start priming as early as on the screen right here. So what I could have added is another little line right here and say, and then book in your call with Jerry, or and then book a call with our advisor, or opt in to get contacted and book in your call with your advisor. Something like that, where I already start priming right here. Or I could even go in my headline right here. I could have written something like step one, and then, step one, enter your contact information type of thing. Or I could have also did the exact same thing here, right? Or there's a missing screenshot essentially between these two steps, meaning you would have had like another step here where people can enter the full name, email, phone number. Like in that step, there's a little text right above that you can fill out. I could have said something like step 1, enter your contact details so our team can get in touch with you. And in here, I would have written something like step 2, book your call. I wouldn't have even acknowledged that they opted in right before. I wouldn't even have said thanks. I would have been step 2, book your call. So the more you prime for a second step, the more people are going to be like, yeah, no, like I need to take this second step. Like I'm not done yet, right? You want to make it seem as if like they're not fully done with the action they just started, okay? So there's congruence in the steps in the funnel here. So that should give you your 5 to 10% of self bookings, okay? But besides that, we obviously don't want to just rely on self bookings, okay? How do we book more calls? Well, the biggest mistake that I see people make is they're not respecting their time to lead KPI that they should respect, okay? Time to lead. Remember this. This is probably the most important metric that you need to track with your info product, lead gen, ad agency, whatever. Any sort of lead generation based advertising business needs to track time to lead. What does that mean? It's basically how long to get in touch with the lead after they opted in. So it's pretty simple, right? When somebody filled out this Facebook form, how long did it take before somebody got in touch with them from your team? Okay. So you'd be surprised by how many people get this wrong. It's like they wait either a few hours or a day or 2 days, or they wait quite a long time after someone opted in order to take action. And so the general KPI here is probably much shorter than you might think. So imagine, this is supposed to be a clock right here, but it is 5 minutes max. If you can respect this timeline, you will significantly increase the amount of bookings that you get. Meaning, from the moment somebody fills out this form in your funnel, within less than 5 minutes after they fill out the form, someone from your team is either texting them or calling them. And I am not talking about a bot or an AI SMS text. I'm talking about a physical person picking up the phone and either calling them or actually texting them on iMessage, okay? This is the biggest help that you can do for your business, okay? And sometimes, and I honestly cannot even believe I hear things like that. Like, I'll either have clients or people tell me, well, Justin, it's a waste of time. Like, I'm spending so much time now calling all these leads or DMing them, or it's like, it's a lot, what if we just reduce the amount of leads, added more friction, increase lead quality, and then like, I'd be happy, to call all those leads if there were less. And I'm like, okay, sure, there's an argument to be made for increasing lead quality. I'm always happy to have a conversation about getting better leads. But the single biggest factor that will contribute to you getting more calls and sales opportunities for your business is appointment setting. I'm telling you, if you're following everything that I have on this channel about how to run solid paid ads, you will be getting enough leads for your business. It's not even a question. The question will become very rapidly, the conversation will switch from how can I get enough leads to how can I get enough calls, or how can I get enough sales? And that's a back end question, which is why I'm making the point of this video. When the problem is not in the ad account, the problem's in the back end. And one of the most common problems is people get leads and they don't know what the to do with those leads. And there is seriously nothing more frustrating or worse as an agency owner than have someone essentially that you're working with who just, again, doesn't know what to do with the leads that you're giving them. And so some of the things that I often hear, okay, when somebody takes too long to call the leads, okay, the objections that start coming up are the following, okay? You'll hear things like, I never opted in, okay? This is a typical one. I never opted in. So these guys, they act like they never clicked on the form. And then you have the typical, this is not me, okay? Like wrong person type of thing. So this is not me, wrong person. It starts happening quite a lot. Or I am not interested, which this will happen. Or people, again, simply won't pick up at all. So why is it that people start telling you these things like I never opted in, or this is not me, or I'm not interested? It's just a mechanism of defense. So why is it that people are telling you these things like I never opted in, or this is not me, or wrong person, or I'm not interested? There's two reasons. The first one is they genuinely don't remember. Like seriously, people when they scroll, you have to understand it. It's a scroll, 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 scroll. Oh, that's interesting. Click on it. Scroll, scroll, scroll. It's they just never stop scrolling. And so therefore, you're one of the thousands of ads that this person has seen in their day. And so they don't really actually remember what it is that they opted in for. So this is again about half of the people. The other half, it's a mechanism of defense. It's like now they're so outside of the mindset of wanting to buy that like it's the timing between them opting in and making the decision of like, oh, this is very interesting, this is relevant for me, I'm gonna opt in, and you calling them as little as like 30 minutes later could have given them enough time to move on with something else with their life. Give you an example. Your advertising services, or you're advertising, let's say chiropractic services, okay? So you have a form on Facebook, somebody is sitting in their chair, they just, tried to get up, they couldn't, their back hurts, so now they're sitting down, they're on their phone, and they just see your ads about, back adjustments. They're like, oh man, like my back is hurting right now. So they click, they opt in. Then they, start watching other ads, other videos, their back pain starts to, get a little less worse. They get up, they go out, they eat a sandwich, whatever. It's 45 minutes later, they get back home, back pain no longer hurts, and then they get a call like, hey, this is this person. They're like, forget it, right? It's like they had the time to actually either solve the problem or move on to something else in their life, or to hesitate. There's time to create a hesitation. They might still have a little bit of back pain, but it's not as strong as it was 45 minutes ago. And so therefore, they're moving on to something else with their life. And so seriously, the faster you are at calling someone, the higher chances at actually getting them on the phone. So to pick up in the first place, and then to eventually book in a call. And so this again is the biggest metric that you should be tracking and optimizing for internally. And so I said something interesting earlier. I said, this is not about AI, SMS and whatnot. This is like somebody actually picking up the phone or someone texting them. Why? Well, it's not going to hurt for you to have an AI SMS bot. It's not going to hurt for you to have these automations and workflows. Well, people are going to see a green bubble pop up on their phone, and they know that like chances are it's automated. Whereas if you send them a blue message on iMessage, or you send them a WhatsApp message, and you were writing as if you're texting someone, meaning there's no capital letters, it's small letter H, let's say for hey, something like that, right? Well, it's going to look genuine, and they're going to be surprised and be like, oh shit, like someone's actually texting me right now, right? And well, even better if you call them right away and you double dial them and you're like, hey, look, this is X person from, I think you just saw an ad about 5 minutes ago, right? Could it be something about back pain? Yeah. Oh, wow, this is crazy. Did you guys call this fast? It's like, yeah, look, we were on it. I just saw you came in and I decided to give you a call right away and see if it was a good time to chat. Yeah, totally. And then the conversation, like you blow people away when you call fast. People are like, shit, these guys are sharp, right? And that will help you make the most out of your leads. And going back to earlier, I said 5 to 10% self-book. You can go as high to adding another 10 to even 30% more bookings just by respecting a 5-minute time to lead on your side. Now, obviously, this is going to be lower and perhaps even sub 10% in added bookings if you start to wait a few hours or even a day or something before calling people. And now, before somebody asks, I can already hear this, Justin, what do I do now if it's like out of office hours? This guy opted in at like 10 p.m. at night. What do I do? Well, first of all, there's honestly two things in what you can do. One, you could just call them back first thing tomorrow morning. So it's one thing that you can do, right? If you don't have anybody working, then so be it. Two, if you notice a recurring pattern of people opting in either later in the evenings or on weekends and whatnot where your team doesn't work, change your team structure. As simple as that. It's like be on where your clients are on. If your leads are always opting in at night and on weekends, then make sure you get someone who's going to work a weekend and a night shift in order to be able to text and book people in. I am telling you, this is going to change your business. And the reason it will is because it's unscalable, meaning can you scale it? Sure, you're going to have to get more people, and people don't like to have to hire more people. They want systems, but like texting on iMessage, texting on WhatsApp, it's not scalable. You got to do it manually. You got someone that needs to have an actual iPhone to send those text messages. Now, calling all these people on weekends, nights, and whatever. Again, it's not really scalable. You need to have people who want to work night shifts and or work weekends. You got to do it, honestly. And so, again, now knowing that is one thing, applying it is a totally different thing. If you want to make sure your ads are not only just getting traffic, but also converting into sales, then I highly recommend you check the first 2 links in the description down below. So if you made it this far and you're an info product business owner, perhaps also in the e-commerce space, you want to work with a Meta, Google, or TikTok paid ads partner, click the first link down below and book in your call to speak with myself and the team at paidadvertising.com. And or if you want one-on-one consulting help from myself on your ads, your offer, your back-end processes, systems, funnels, name it, check out a second link down below to join our Ad Engine one-on-one consulting program. And once you do that, watch this next video where I show you exactly how we made this e-commerce fashion brand an additional $500,000 in 3 months with Facebook ads.